Hello, Marvelites! You're watching Marvel's Pull List, and I'm Ryan, aka Agent M.
And I'm Tucker Marcus.
And every week we read every single Marvel comic that comes out. We pick a bunch of them, we pick a topic, we tell you why you gotta check them out. Tucker, what are we going for this week?
We are talking about The End, starting with Captain Marvel, The End, #1, which is one of 3 titled The End books this week that showcase some potential endings for these characters, some potential goodbyes. And this one obviously chronicles the end of Carol Danvers' story. It is written by Kelly Thompson with art by Carmen Carnero, a couple of absolute all-stars in Mighty Marvel Comics today. I just adore the way that Kelly imbues this story with not just huge, enormous cosmic action, but with beautiful little intimate moments. And then the way that Carmen, who is unbelievable, executes those between, the amazing physicality of those cosmic moments and then just the beautiful little acting moments of those relationships. To see it all put together is really something to behold. It actually reminds me a little bit of the death of Captain Marvel, one of the most classic Marvel Comics stories in history. It is something that really deserves that kind of plot. It is excellent stuff. One of my favorites of the week.
Yeah. One of the great things about these The End stories is that they are just full of world building. New characters, new costumes, new ideas. There's a ton of that in Captain Marvel The End. There's also a ton in Doctor Strange The End, which is the second of our The End books that we're talking about this week. And in this one, we get to see Doctor Strange in his final moments as he shuffles off this mortal coil, but it's about the journey getting there and why he's there and him being the last practitioner of the mystic arts and what that means to him and what has happened to Wong, what has happened to the world around him. It also ties into another story by the same creators, Leah Williams and Felipe Andrade. I won't tell you what it is, but the way it all sort of ties together and becomes one big story is fantastic.
Our third The End book this week is Deadpool, The End, #1. And this is brought to you by Joe Kelly, who's writing, obviously a modern Deadpool legend there alongside Mike Hawthorne and Victor Olazaba on art. And boy, oh boy, do those guys have a lot of work to do in this issue because Joe Kelly, when he gets this comes across his desk, he says, tell an ending of Deadpool. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna hold back. And that is exactly what Joe Kelly presents here. It is a kitchen sink story. So many characters, so many storylines, so many artifacts, so many little details that Mike and Victor pull off beautifully. It has so many great moments, so many really interesting character interactions that I did not see coming. It is so much fun. The way that we see Deadpool team up with a few different characters in here is so great. Bobby Drake, I'm looking at you. Yeah. You'll see what that means when you read. But the way that this issue ends specifically is so perfect Deadpool.
All right, the last book for us to talk about is not another The End title, but it is the end of a big storyline in Conan the Barbarian #12. This is the end of the life and death of Conan, and it's such a cool story. We've seen Conan killed. He died, but he's back to fight a giant blood monster and its weird children thing, creatures. We get introduced to Conan's son in this issue, and it's a really cool storyline. The end of this big 12-issue arc is also the beginning of a lot of stories to come for Conan, for this series, for much more. And it was awesome and bloody and brutal, exactly what you look for from a great Conan story. But there are so many more comics for us to talk about. We're going to tell you all about them on Marvel's Pull List, the podcast version. Get it wherever you get your audio. And actually, check out This Week in Marvel this week as well. If you like these The End titles, we do a whole deep dive on all The End books this week on TWIM. Check that out wherever you get your audio. We'll be back with another episode here next week. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Tucker.
And this is Marvel,
your universe.
The End!